good morning, peeps. Happy Monday. Monday for everybody who's excited is Monday. Julia Jordan, your favorite real estate agent with Keller Williams, The Woodlands, coming to you with a tip for baby boomers. Yesterday I met a new friend, and this person shared with me that the parents are about to age out of the property that they have right now. They had major appreciation, like most baby boomer age people that are now thinking about a smaller home or a yard with less maintenance. Happens to be they were one of the first people building and buying a bigger piece of land in a very, very popular neighborhood. That neighborhood appreciated like crazy. So they probably tripled or quadrupled the value over the last 15-20 years in this property. And of course, the question naturally is, what do these people do with the equity that they have in there? And baby boomers have a very different problem or situation than, for example, first-time homebuyers. That's a completely different set. First-time homebuyers are short on cash. They have a lousy credit score often. They're just figuring life out. Yeah, they got into a little bit credit card debt. They bought a car that is over their budget that they should have bought, yada, yada, yada. So they're in a completely different situation. Baby boomers have a luxury problem. Usually they appreciate it like crazy. Often they already have been in their property 20, 30 years, some even more. They are already way past the age where they paid for their kids' college. All of that is already taken care of. And then also they are not short on cash. They have usually a well-stocked 401k or something like that, plus major equity in their property. So the question usually is, the parents want to downsize, and they want to live off the fruits of their labor. Yeah, they want to use a little bit of that equity maybe and travel and what they all worked so hard for. And second, they are thinking about the next generation. How do we transfer wealth into the next generation, and hopefully without paying taxes? So I have two ideas how to help baby boomers with that, and I thought I make a quick YouTube video because I don't talk very much about it. But there are two things, in my opinion, very important to guarantee a good lifestyle until you're old. One is, of course, make the money, and the second one is keeping the money, and then if you have left over, transferring it into the next generation for generational wealth, to give them a little bit better start into life, or the grandchildren, or whatever your plan is, without paying taxes. Or paying as little taxes as possible. Let's just go with an example. Let's just say this couple bought the property years and years ago for 400K. If a married couple is selling property, I am not a tax expert, so always double check with your CPA. You can have up to 500K in capital gains, and you do not pay taxes on it. Let's say the property is in this fantastic area, a very well-known area. Everybody wants to live there with a little bit of land on it. Yeah, everybody wants an acre and more. That's just once you reached a certain bracket and you're out of suburbia, you don't have your kids in school districts anymore. That's what everybody wants. I want an acre or two, and I want a house, and I don't want my neighbors in my backyard. How do you do that? Let's say the property now is 1.4 million, to have an easy number. So you had 1 million in appreciation. What is a problem? But it's a very good problem to have. You could do several things. I would offer right now, from the top of my mind, two solutions. You can put the whole estate into a trust. You add, let's say you have two children as the couple. You have two children, brother and sister. You put both of them in a trust. So all four of you are the owners of the trust. And whatever solution you find, you ensure that you have the cash to move on for the smaller property that you're dreaming about. Let's say you want to use 500K out of that, and you arrange with your children that they definitely give you the funds that you want, and you can set it up with an attorney in a way that you always have access to the funds that you have there. But you already foresee, let's say you're 75, you're expecting national average, maybe you turn 85 or maybe 95, so that's 10 or 20 years that you're gonna live, and probably you will not take out all of those funds, and you have your 401k to live off as well. So you basically expect to not want to use all the equity. So what happens is, at one point, 10, 20 years later, you pass, your husband passes, and the remainders in the trust are your children. So the funds transferred tax-free. That is a very smooth situation. Also, there will be no probate, there is no will needed. You pass and your children are already in place, and this is a genius way to transfer wealth without paying taxes. Of course, you need a certain amount of trust, and you need an attorney involved in case there's not so much trust, or you want to ensure. You should always ensure on paper that you are taken care for when you get older, how everything will play out in case you need to access your own funds, okay? But that's a great way to transfer funds. And the other way would be, let's say the property is 1.4 million, but you sell it to your children just for the 500k profit. Always, again, check with your tax advisor, but you say, this is my son, this is my daughter, I pay out my daughter, I sell the property to my son, we're finding an agreement to only max out the 500k that you do not have to pay capital gains on. That is your wiggle room, and you pay, you only sell it for that amount. You don't need all your money anyways anymore, and you just sell the property for a certain price to your own child. So you have access as the seller to your own funds, and the child has the benefit of getting the hands on a property that is a little bit undervalued, okay? You can't, there are limits, don't hit it too hard, because you don't want to get any negative attention of basically screwing around with the tax payment, but there are definitely limits before and after repair value and things like that if a property is outdated, and then you simply would maybe decide to do all the upgrades afterwards. And there is a lot of sweat equity, how we call it. You fix up a property, and there is a little bit of meat on the bone, of course, because when you have a better value once a property is in top condition and updated after 20 years. Usually properties need updating, and you just bring it up to speed in today's value. Let's say the son would move into the property, lives there for 2 years, the clock starts over. At this point, the son could sell the property. Let's say he is married as well, limit is 500k. Let's say he is married, son and wife with all the kids move into the house, live there for 2 years. Then they sell, they have again 500k. So that would also be a good way to get your equity out of your property, to of course bless the next generation, and to transfer wealth into the next generation, because baby boomers do not have the problem usually, most of them, thanks God, that they are short on cash. A high percentage, I believe it's over 50% of baby boomers has the house paid off, sits on a juicy 401k or some other kind of deferred tax beneficial savings account, and they have the other problem. They worry about the next generation and how to get the wealth over. I have also great connections with wealth managers, with financial advisors. I talked this weekend with several people that are facing a divorce or that are just through a divorce, and they are wondering, how do we structure ourselves now? So I can hook you up with a wealth advisor to just have a third party look at your finances. I'm also very smart, but I'm not a CPA. I always disclose that. I'm not a tax attorney, but I do know a lot. And when my wisdom comes to its end, I definitely right away refer you to the expert. So if you have any questions how to grow your wealth in the future, I would love to be your connector, to get you connected to all the right people, to helping you build growth, grow wealth, build wealth, but then also protecting it. Yeah, in this market, our economy is a little bit in a roller coaster. We need to watch. It is not so much about growing wealth in a crisis. If you're really good, it's the best time actually to grow wealth. But if you don't know how to grow wealth, the most important is to not lose your wealth, okay? keep it, protect it, and when times get easier, you are building up again, okay? This is Julia Jordan, your favorite real estate agent, talking to you about my favorite topic, wealth building. And if you have any questions, just feel free. If you want to get connected to anyone, let me know. I know great bankers, I know great wealth managers that can help you and answer all the questions that I did not put in this video, okay? You guys have a wonderful day. Happy Monday. Bye-bye.